Hello everybody out there in YouTube land, and welcome to DC Fans United. So today I did a Twitter poll to see what my next video should be, and a review of Darkseid War was the winner. So I'm continuing my series of reviews. I've reviewed 2 issues already, so you can check those out with a link in the description box. So issue number 42 was written by Jeff Johns. The art on this was done by Jason Fabok. Brad Anderson did the coloring, and Rob Lay is the letterer. Jason Fabok and Brad Anderson also did the main cover, and we'll go ahead and check that out. It's really awesome. Like, one thing, if you were just going to say one sentence about this whole series, is the art is phenomenal, especially with Jason Fabok doing the art. So what you see on the cover is very reminiscent of the art throughout. This high quality art is just a part of the comic. The cover art is seriously good, but the panel art throughout is just as good. So then there's also 2 covers that are variant covers and are mostly just for fun, particularly the cover by Dan Hipp, which is a Teen Titans cover. So kind of fun. I think around 2016 when this came out, they were really trying to promote Teen Titans. So it doesn't have anything to do with anything, but why not? It's okay for a variant cover. And then there's another one by Joe Quinones, and that is also okay. I don't really like it that much, especially compared with the main cover. Again, Jason Fabok's art is just insanely good. And we see that even starting off on the first page. We pick up with 2 characters we saw in the last issue, Lex Luthor and Superman. Lex was actually shot by his own sister, but she was under the influence of Darkseid. He is getting his wounds cauterized by Superman, and he sits up, and we get this big reveal that they are on Apocalypse. Now, one thing about this issue, and really any of the issues Jason Fabok does the art on, the backgrounds are ridiculously good. A lot of times, I always check the backgrounds, and a lot of times they're really kind of mediocre, especially in modern day comics, where they'll just use a 3D model of a room or a chair or something, and it's really blocky and dull. Right here we get this cool cityscape, if you can call it that, of Apocalypse, and you can see all the buildings and fire pits and stuff. It's really awesome, and we get the credits. So going on with the Apocalypse theme, we see Darkseid, and won't go into all the dialogue here, you know. Gotta give you guys a reason to read it, but essentially he talks to Darkseid and Steppenwolf, and they know that Superman's on the planet, and then the scene changes. So the Anti-Monitor is already on Earth. We saw that in the last issue, but he's just standing there, and we're not really sure why. And the Justice League is all standing around too, in various states of injury. I'm not sure how Batman is standing, since Grail cut him up pretty good. And Grail, if you don't know, is a new character that was introduced in this series, and she is the daughter of Darkseid. So as you can imagine, she's very powerful. She decides to attack Wonder Woman. So we see this really crazy, I really like this panel where Wonder Woman's leaping forward, looks really heroic. I'm not sure why her shield looks different in this series, but I actually like it. I think it's a cool redesign. So right when Grail and Wonder Woman are gonna fight, the Anti-Monitor smashes the ground and she goes flying back. So it's really kind of surprising. And then before anything else can happen, Metron shows up and he boom tubes away with the Justice League. So he essentially, you could say, saved them, but at the very least kept them from having to fight Grail and the Anti-Monitor, which I imagine wouldn't have gone well. So then the scene changes again, and we're catching up with Mr. Miracle, who's one of my favorite heroes. He's talking to Marina Black, and she plays a very important role in this. It turns out, and again, this is where we see some of the really cool backgrounds. She's showing him around her lair, and she is an Amazon. She's been around for a really long time, but unlike Hippolyta, she decided to leave the island, and she's been working behind the scenes, she says, and fighting and trying to prevent wars and stuff. And basically what she's going to do now is go to war with Darkseid, and she's been planning this for a really long time, so much so that she had a daughter with Darkseid to use against Darkseid. So we find out that she is Grail's mother, which explains why Grail said she's half Amazon. She is. So she's a descendant of this Marina Black, who is an Amazon, and of course Darkseid. So very powerful. But part of her plan is to bring Darkseid here to Earth, and Mr. Miracle thinks that's a bad idea. So she turns on him and tries to kill him and actually stabs him, which just shows how good she is at fighting to even hit Mr. Miracle. But he runs and boom tubes and gets away. So he is okay. So then we're catching catching up with the Justice League again. Metron took them to the Rock of Eternity because that's a safe place, and I guess there's some kind of a backstory with him and the Green Lanterns. Apparently they've fought before, so Hal Jordan isn't too much a fan of his, but Wonder Woman wants to find out how to beat the Anti-Monitor, and he's not answering her straightforward, so she takes out the lasso of truth and lassos him and says, how do I get the answers to my questions? And he doesn't want to tell her, but he's compelled to, and he says, take the chair from me. So she says, understood. We see Metron's pulled from the chair, and the chair's shooting out lightning. It's going to boom tube out on its own, but Batman runs up and sits down because, hey, why not? So we see he's getting shocked, but he's also being told all this information. He sees Apocalypse, and he sees Grail, and he suddenly understands everything. So then we find out some really cool stuff. He asks the chair, who killed my parents? And he says, yes, Joe Chill, that's right. So, you know, he must have known that already. It was just a test. But if you didn't know that, yeah, that's the name of the criminal that murdered his parents was named Joe Chill. So then he asks, what is the Joker's true name? And then he says, no, that's not possible. But it doesn't tell us what the name is, which is kind of a drag. But they ask if he's okay. And then we see on the final page, he says, what does he say? He says, of course, Diana, I'm a god now. So a little pretentious, but he is a superpowered Batman. So that's how the issue ends. Pretty awesome. I thought it was really excellent. Some of the writing, I wasn't 100% sure what's gonna happen, but, you know, that'll be revealed in the future. So I'm very curious to review the next issue, and I guess that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Let me know down below if you've been reading this series or if you've read it before. What do you think of the art? What do you think of the scope of it? Just, you know, Darkseid against the Anti-Monitor, against the Justice League. Like, it's pretty crazy. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. And as always, thank you for watching. And if you aren't subscribed, please subscribe.